Hey lovies, I cannot wait to share these 5 patriotic Dollar Tree DIYs with you. They came out so stinking cute and they're so easy. Let's see what we can create today. Our first DIY is we're going to be making a tier tray. So yes, you guys probably guessed it. When we have the 2 red plates, I'm going to be taking these Dollar Tree candlesticks and just spray painting them that glossy white. It can also be matte too, but I feel like with such rustic pieces that we're putting on our actual items, a little bit of shine will be really nice. So yeah, I'm definitely not reinventing the wheel here. A lot of DIYers do these tier trays with plates and these candlestick holders, but I just wanted to bring your attention to the red plates because they're definitely there at the Dollar Tree now. And I just showed you quickly that you can either double up the candlesticks to have a super high tray, that's what we're going to be doing today, or you can just use one candlestick and it'll be a slimmer, not so high tray, depending on your space. So you're going to mix some parts of E6000 and some hot glue. I prefer Gorilla Hot Glue if I'm going to be doing a tray like this, so that way it lasts me for a long time. And if you notice, I have placed the actual candlesticks a little bit wonky. It's not exactly in the middle, but if that happens to you, it'll be okay. Do not worry about it because once you load your tray with all your goodies, you'll never know. So here we're adding the rustic elements to the seams. So generally when you make a tier tray, you're going to see glue, you're going to see where the candlesticks and the plate meet. So I'm going to just be using this really awesome type of jute cord. And this is not really like the twine, but this can be found if you're lucky because it does go quick. I think I found this once and I just grabbed it, everything that they had. I left nothing for no one else, but you can find this cord in the auto section of Dollar Tree. The candlesticks have this inset section that's perfect to lay this jute cord on. So it's just, we're basically just decorating and hiding any glue spots or any parts where the 2 glue sticks conjoin, and it's so perfect. So I just point out there that when you start another piece, be sure to start where your last section ended. So that way any of the ends of your cord is all in one spot. So that way when you go to decorate it, you can face your tray with all of the seamless parts of your cord. Next step is to take any of your scraps that you have that are red, white, and blue. And if you don't have Scraps, maybe because you're not a crafter that uses a lot of material, you can definitely go to your thrift, Walmart, Joann's, and they always have like a scrap leftover section. So make sure to raid those areas first before getting material by the yard. Again, I want my decor this year, especially in my home, to have a very old, rustic, vintage, worn out type of patriotic look. So there's no rhyme to reason of the designs that I'm using. I'm basically just taking scraps. It could be different sizes, different thicknesses, and just tying them around the candlesticks. I'm really just going for a rustic look here. The tiered tray looks so cute and shabby with all of these fabric pieces in it, and check out the final result. I am just so absolutely in love. Once you put the pieces in, it just comes to life and I am obsessed. For our next DIY, we're going to be making this really old-time, vintage style inspired patriotic banner. I actually got the inspiration when I went to Gettysburg last year. They have a lot of this like old newspaper, dictionary paper style to a lot of their memorabilia and things like that. So I wanted to get that kind of feel for these banners. So your first step is basically going to deconstruct the banner and print out a triangle shape that is just smaller but in the same ratio as your triangle for the banner. So you're simply going to take chalk or any, maybe like a white color pencil, anything that you can see against a dark background. And you're going to take your scissors and just cut out the triangle from the middle. Make sure to keep that scrap because we can always use it later on. So you're going to take a piece of dictionary page, newspaper. This just actually happens to be vintage. I got it from my friend Shayna over at SBL Artistry. And I'm going to take Fabri-Tac, but you can literally take any type of glue and just adhere your triangle to the top of your page. Now, the red striped banner is a little bit tricky, but still easy, not to worry. So I didn't want the red stripes to have a triangle down the middle. I wanted there to be a variation to the banners. So I'm going to be cutting out some of the middle white stripes and replacing it with the dictionary page. So how I do that is that I cut the stripes, but I leave the cutout stripe as a placeholder. Once you glue down all of your pieces and leave the other white stripes unglued, you just have to remove them and you'll see that the dictionary pages are in the perfect height. So you're simply going to cut out your banner and then you're going to take it to the sewing machine. So you'll see here there's quite a difference to the sewing version and not the sewing version. It just gives it a really nice detail and like a finishing detail. To give it that really worn vintage look, even though the papers have a really nice patina to them already, I'm taking the Tim Holtz Distresser in gathered twigs, and I'm really just going in between the fabric and the newspaper just to give it a really nice kind of distressed aged look. And this part is optional. If you don't have distress, you can just leave it as is and put some really nice details to it. But I just thought it really looked nice with the aged on the paper and also on the banner too. Just age the whole thing up. That's what, once you start using Tim Holtz Distresser, it's really hard to stop. But I just think it just really gives it that old time feel. And you guys, I'm crushing on these. I really don't know actually which one is my favorite, but I have to say I absolutely adore these. And it really just looks so patriotic and something, again, that I would see in Gettysburg. I'm just living for these. So as you just saw with the banners, I'm creating another banner using the beads. So in the beginning of the video, when we were spraying down the candlesticks, we also purchased these beads from the children's section where all the toys are. So these beads are actually glued pieces from the necklaces and bracelets that you will find in the Dollar Tree. It just needs a little bit of fresh paint. And the same with the tiered tray, just keeping along with the cohesive collection. We're going to be taking strips of scrap materials. Again, I just kind of cut up some of the military fabric, some red, white polka dots, blue, red, anything that you can find that will give it that really awesome patriotic look. A quick tip, I found it best if you take all of your scraps that you roll them with your fingers, and it's easier to tie, and you can fluff the pieces out by just separating them. And this cute beaded banner, it just works perfectly with the one that we just did. It just gives it that little farmhouse flair, a little bit of color with the red, white, and blue. It's not overly done, and it's just so cute. Next DIY is we're gonna make a really awesome patriotic sign with this farmer's market sign found at the Dollar Tree. If you guys have been following me, we did another crackle method with the pink truck for Valentine's Day. And one tip that I had there that works really well is that you let your crackle dry almost to the point where it's fully dry. So a little bit still wet, and if you want large cracks, that's the best way to do it. So here I'm taking that rope that we did earlier with the tier tray, and I'm just cutting where I think it would be around the square. And we're gonna take red craft paint and just really go over it just so that it gives it a little bit of that red color. I wanted it to be more blue and red focus because we're going to leave the background striped. Here is our sign, and it's completely dried, and you can see that some of the cracks are large, which is exactly what we wanted. And now I'm taking some blue paint and I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of distress, going over it, not too much, just to give it a little bit of color, and with the same thing as this gold texture paste. The gold texture paste is super optional. I think just blue, shades of blue, even red can be awesome. And you saw the middle piece actually popped off. I tried painting around it, and I guess it's easily, it can be easily removed. So if you're trying this with me, I would just try to remove that square sign piece because it really just popped right off. Coming down to the next couple steps, so I'm basically just doing some modern calligraphy with a brush and paint. I'm going to be painting Let Freedom Ring, but I actually did tweak this a little bit because it started looking like Pet Freedom Ring and it was just bothering me. So I added a little swivel, and you'll see that at the end. But yeah, just have fun with this. This is really nice and relaxing. I love lettering with acrylic paint. It's so nice. With a paint or pen, it's just one of my favorite things to do. So have fun with it. Once everything is dried and distressed how you want it, our next step here is just going to be gluing down the painted cord that we made. This patriotic ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree is so nice. It's really pretty, and it comes with a bunch of yardage. So you really get a good bang for your buck here. But I'm going to just basically make a bow here and simply just glue it on the corner. You can put it in the middle or the bottom. Anywhere would do because it's a really cute bow for the sign. Once your bow is glued and dried, you're just going to go in and have some finishing touches like ducktailing your ends, and the end result is so cute. I'm loving the texture and the different distressing. It's just so beautiful. And here you can see that I added the little swivel to the L, but it's such an easy sign to make. And we are at our last DIY. Oh my god, this video went by fast. I feel like they go quicker and quicker. But this one is a really awesome and really nice patriotic DIY from the Dollar Tree. We're going to be using this sign, but creating a pocket that we can put like dried flowers in, or faux flowers, flags. Really, the possibilities are endless. So you saw here that we're just taking some sandpaper and continuing to distress our pieces. I've taken some black paint, and that allows it just to give it that worn, really rustic look, and the black will also go in between the scratches. Next step, we're going to trace on paper the outsides of the sign. This is going to be used for our pocket. It's hard to see here, but when you're in front of it, you can almost see the red and white stripes when you have the paper on top of it. So I'm basically just tracing this out so I know where to put my material on. And you guessed it, the same scrap material that we've been using for all of our projects, we're still going to be using for here. But the only thing is that we are only picking out the red pieces to glue down on our red stripes. Once you have all of the red stripes that you want, I've decided here to use a little bit of a two-tone color just to give a little bit of a rustic look. You're going to take your Fabri-Tac or the glue of your choosing and really glue down all of the stripes where we have traced them on the paper. Next, I have this burlap ribbon. It wasn't from the Dollar Tree, but I did get this at AC Moore when they unfortunately went out of business. So I actually was able to get this for like $1.25. You're going to simply fold it and cut in half, and this is where we're going to glue on for our white stripes. And you guys, this may look shoddy to you now, but I promise you it's so pretty. Like, the end result you can easily find at like a really nice retail craft shop. And once you cut the trimmings off and you detail it with some sewing, it just comes to life. So I'm taking some white paint just to tone down the brown in that like burlap type material, and just by softly just dry brushing over the ribbon, it really looks awesome. It just gives it that really nice rustic pop that it really truly was needing. So again, once you start trimming down the excess, the pocket really starts coming to life. And as you see here, once we sew down the stripes and around it, it really just looks like a finished piece. So to keep with the rustic theme, I'm taking my Tim Holtz Distress again and just going through the edges and the stripes and just anywhere that I think just needs an extra bit of pop. Last step here is to take your hot glue gun. Again, I suggest using the Gorilla. That way you can just really put anything on here and you won't worry about it coming off. And you guys, I'm loving this pocketed sign. It's so cute. I put some dried lavender and a star, but again, the possibilities are endless. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.